South Africa's biggest ultramarathon is back on the road. The 95th Comrades Marathon will be run from Pietermaritzburg to Durban tomorrow morning. It's the first Comrades after a 2-year COVID-19 outbreak.
Well, that's right. And of course, there will be some major road closures. So for more on this, we're joined now by Rowan James, who's the Comrades Race Director. Rowan, thank you so much for your time this morning. I think more than anything else, can we just really talk about the significance of this Comrades Marathon finally being in its pre-COVID times, where we get to gather, where you get to see the races, where it's not virtual anymore, and really the hive of activities in anticipation for Sunday?
Yeah, good morning, Faith, and thanks for having me on the show. Good morning to all the viewers. Yeah, a very significant day coming up in just under 24 hours after the break of the race for the last 2 years due to COVID. It's certainly very exciting times to be back again. One of the things that I've seen with the runners and interacting with the runners down at the Race Expo over the last 2 days is that they were all, virtual races that were oversubscribed. People are tired of it. They wanted to do the real deal again. So everybody's excited to be back and ready to take on the challenge.
Rowan, ENCA's very own Superman, Thulasizwe Simelane, is, of course, taking part in another Comrades. But one of the things he raised when I had a chat with him was he's not too sure about the Comrades happening in August. It's usually a June race, usually around that Youth Day celebration. Why the change this time around to a later date?
There's a number of reasons, but first and foremost, one of the key reasons was that there was the uncertainty with COVID. So invariably, when you have to book a race date with your federation, KwaZulu-Natal, and then athletics, and then in turn Athletics South Africa, you book your race date nearly a year in advance. So, sorry, excuse me. The date, as I said, we were unsure with COVID, so hence the reason, number one, buying time to have it towards the end of August. Secondly, in June, obviously it's the middle of winter, so what tended to happen then is that the first hour and a half of the race takes place in the dark, and then at least the last 45 minutes of the race also takes place in the dark. So there's quite a lot of roadworks on the go out of Pietermaritzburg, so it became a safety issue for the runners as well, where the runners were running obviously in the dark and with all the roadworks and that sort of thing. It was just better to do it then. And then also TV coverage of the race, the live TV coverage this week will be going out on SuperSport. And what would tend to happen then is that we find the viewership figures, were fairly lowish because, for the first hour and a half, we couldn't get the helicopters up to get pictures out. Hence the reason it just also moved now to August, and it's pretty much dark, only dark for the first half an hour, and by 6 o'clock, we're able to get pictures out. And there are a host of other reasons, but those are the main ones.
Can we just talk a little bit about the evolution of the Comrades Marathon since its founding? I think it was in 1921 when we first saw the actual first race, and how it's actually managed to evolve over time and still be able to hone in, for example, on the greater spirit of not only South Africa, but really the African continent and the global community. If you're taking almost a peripheral view or a top-down view in terms of the evolution of this Comrades Marathon, what would you say would be some of those highlights that, as the South Africans, perhaps can be proud of?
I think, Comrades is one of those unique races. It's one of those unique events. It's a global event. I think what it really comes down to, it's become part of South Africa's tapestry way of life and culture, and what that really does is that it's sort of it's certainly in a way unified everybody from way back when it was one of the first races still to go totally multiracial in 1975 during the height of apartheid. It was also an opportunity for women to participate in the race from 1975 onwards, but bear in mind that the true founding of the Comrades Marathon way back in 1921 was by the founder, Vic Clapham, and it was to honour his fallen heroes and comrades during the First World War. And since then, the Comrades has gone on to use the Comrades as a mission statement to honour all soldiers and fighters of the race to become, and South Africa to become a totally democratic society as well. So it has a long meaning from that point of view all the way through. And I think the amazing thing about tomorrow, when you're on the road, is that everybody is equal on the road. You have everybody from company CEOs to people that are unemployed running shoulder to shoulder, side by side, and they all share the same values.
Alexandra Morozova, Rowan has been barred from competing in the Comrades. We usually do have our Russian athletes. There are two sisters, in fact, who have dominated, and one could consider them legendary in the Comrades Marathon. Just the reasons from Comrades to adhere to World Athletics' decision to bar Russian athletes, given everything that's happening in Ukraine. I mean, was there no agency from the Comrades Marathon to decide on your own whether or not you want Russian athletes here?
Yes, so Comrades Marathon is affiliated to KwaZulu-Natal Athletics, as I mentioned earlier, who in turn is affiliated to Athletics South Africa. And Athletics South Africa is in turn affiliated to World Athletics. So we as event organizers cannot make the rules. We are the only ones that have to implement the rules that are handed down to us. World Athletics put out a communique a few days ago strongly advising racers to bar Russians and Belarusian athletes from participating. So we take our cue from Athletics South Africa in terms of the direction that we have to take, and that's what we're doing at the moment.
Yeah. You know, as we're speaking about the race as well, even with the controversies alike, the one thing that we noticed that this year it's supposed to be a down run. What does that mean exactly, Rowan? I mean, does that mean that the down run is more difficult than the up run, or how significant is the down run?
One of the many traditions of Comrades is what's known as an up run and a down run. Now, down runs is from the start at the City Hall in Pietermaritzburg, finishing at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, and the up run starts at the City Hall in Durban and finishes at the Scottsville horse racing course in Pietermaritzburg. And this year will be the 47th down run that we have. So. Is it harder? Yes. I have run the race in my day. I don't anymore now. And without a doubt, everybody thinks downhill running is easier, but it hurts more. There's a lot more jarring on the legs and the body on the way down. So whether the recovery phase from doing an up run is a hell of a lot quicker. And don't be fooled as well, as if you actually look at the race profile and of course for a down run, there's some pretty monster big uphills that have to be conquered as well.
Sheesh.
Prize money. I mean, athletes, especially where the Comrades Marathon is concerned, the ultramarathon, the 90-kilometer marathon, is usually about the prestige. It's about competing in a race that's been around since 1921. So you don't necessarily think first about the prize money, but it is a nice to have. It is something it's a carrot that you dangle in front of runners. What are we talking this year? Has it gone up? Has it stayed the same?
So the Comrades Marathon is the richest paying race in South Africa. First prize is 260,000 Rand. Second prize is 130,000 Rand. Third prize, 90,000 Rand. And it goes all the way down to 10th place. The first place runner, if South African, also gets an additional 100,000 Rand. And if the first place runner comes from KwaZulu-Natal, gets an additional 50,000 Rand. And if the runner makes the best time for the down run, they would get an additional 260,000 Rand. So add that all up and you're well into the 600,000 Rand for first prize if you're from KZN and you better the best down run time. So it's a massive carrot that we do dangle there. And then bear in mind that we do have quite a number of what we call elite or pro clubs. So they also have their own incentive programs for their athletes. And then, some of the athletes also have personal endorsements from the various sporting companies as well. So when David Khatebi won the race in 2016, also a down run, and set a phenomenal time of 5 hours and 18 minutes, he walked away with around about 1.2 million Rand in prize money as well. So it can be a very lucrative payday for the athletes.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some of those athletes really conquer the down run tomorrow morning, Rowan. I know that we're all going to be waiting with bated breath. I wish I could get the 1.2 million without having to run itself, right? Just being a supporter. I just wish that you could just award me with it. But looking forward to it. Always a pleasure. Comrades Marathon Race Director Rowan James, they're joining us this morning, just shedding some light in terms of what we can anticipate for the Comrades Marathon. Would you ever actually run the Comrades?
No. So I wanted to, and I had a goal that at the age of 25, I would like to have at least run it once.
Okay.
Then I got to 25.
And then?
And then I thought, no.
No?
No.
But you're tall. You could beat them.
Yeah.
You've got like longer legs. Strides.
No. So I've now decided, if I'm not running away from something, I have no reason to run. There needs to be a reason why I must run towards money or I must run away from dogs.
Oh.
I have no reason to be running. None whatsoever.
My goodness, I will be at the sidelines just cheering everybody on and eating boerewors rolls and saying, you can do it. That is.
I get one.
That is it.
I'll be there with you, eating boerewors rolls and trying to recover from the night before.